guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have another makeup tutorial for you guys, and it's on this look right here, and it is very smoky and bronzy and blackish and brownish, and I don't know, it's just really flattering. I think it's really flattering for all eye shapes and all eye colors. So I wanted to do this kind of like a universal smoky brown flattering dramatic look and tone it down on my lips. That's why I went for a nude lip, but I don't know if it's suits with gloss. I don't know about the lip thing, but we're rolling with it. So yeah, I used the Morphe limited edition, I think they were limited edition, palettes. They're the squares. They're these right here, and this one's the Copper Spice. This one's the Copper Spice 25A, and this is the 25B Bronzed Mochas. And this has more warm tones, and this one has a little bit more cool tones. But yeah, I really like these eyeshadows. They're extremely buttery and pigmented, and they're so blendable. I just love them. They're my favorite eyeshadows I have ever tried. And I've tried some other high-end ones. I consider this high-end. But for the price that you get these shadows for, the palettes, that is insane. Comparing them to the Kat Von D palette and the Naked palettes, these were 440 pesos each, and the other ones are like 1,000 pesos. So there's like a 600 peso difference, and it's just amazing. But yeah, I'm going to stop rambling, and let's just go ahead and get started with this tutorial. Hi guys, I'm immediately going to start with my eyes and say hello to my little pimple friend. Yes. So I'm going to prime my under eyes, and this is the Illuminating Eye Roll-On by Gosh Copenhagen, and it's supposed to illuminate and tighten your under eyes. It does tighten them. I don't feel like it illuminates my eyes a lot, to be honest, but I really like how it feels, and it's really refreshing in the morning when I apply my makeup, so I really like this. It was a new find, and I really, really like it. So yeah. Just blending that away with my ring finger gently, remember, gently. And then I'm going to prime my eyelids with the NYX Gotcha Covered Concealer in the shade 00 Alabaster. And I really like this concealer for my under eyes and my lids, but as you can see there, I messed up. I thought I was applying the concealer right on my under eyes, but I messed up. So I was just spreading it around and then just placing some on the lids, and you can see it's a mess, but you get the drill. The good thing about that is that I covered my inner corner, which tends to not be covered completely when I prime my eyelids. So when I put eyeshadow there, you can still see a little bit of dark eye circles. Yeah, so that was the issue. Anyway, today I am using these two palettes, and the left one was the Copper Spice one, and this is the Bronzed Mochas, and I'm using this beautiful palette. I'm using the first shade, which is kind of like a bone shade. It is so pigmented, so I swear I only tapped it once, and that's how much like pigment it has. You can see it immediately when I put my eyelid, but it's amazing. I really like this. Next, I went in with a fluffy crease brush, and then that shade, as you can see, the pigment is just like amazing, and I tapped it twice, gently. I swear I didn't rub or anything. And I was dying over the pigment right there because they're the first time I tried Morphe shadows, and I did swatch a ton of them like on my hands and everything, but I didn't use them on my eyes before, and it was just amazing. I couldn't with myself. But yeah, as you see, I just buffed that all over my lid, and then I switched to this like baby pukey brownish yellowish shade with my Coastal Scents Fluffy Blender brush. I think is the BR250, that's what it says on the handle. And then I immediately started like buffing it out onto the other crease color, and then just placing it all over my lid. And then I moved on to this terracotta-y brown shade with the same Coastal Scents brush, and I just applied that lower than the other shade. So what I continued to do was apply a lighter shade at the top, and then did like a gradient down all the way to my lid. So that's what I was doing right there. And then I'm going for this halo kind of effect. It's not quite a halo look, but it's a halo effect. That's what I like to call it anyways. I applied the dark shadow to the inner and outer corner, but leave the center blank. So when you apply the shadow on top, it kind of gives you this depth effect without being halo. So that's what I was trying to do there. This is from the same Bronzed Mochas palette, and I grabbed the Mighty Fair Cosmetics Sensitive Eye Brush and just started deepening out everything, and then going back and forth, I'm so sorry. Going back and forth with the two brushes to try blend everything out and not make it look too crazy. Just going little by little, because if you grab too much, especially with really pigmented eyeshadows, you can make your look go really messy. So I recommend just going in slow at first. Then, as you saw, then I just spritzed my brush with a little bit of Fix Plus, my regular mixture. It's the glycerin with rose water. And then I grabbed that bronzy, like neutral bronzy shade, and I applied that all over my lid. Then I went in again with like that brush, the Magnified Cosmetics brush. It has no product right there and it's just buffing out the inner and outer corners. And then with the other Coastal Scents brush, I'm just slightly buffing out the top part, not too much because then I'm going to ruin everything. So yeah, I did the exact same thing that I did on my crease with those colors. I'm going to do it to blend out this shade. So as you saw, the baby pinky brown, now the terracotta brown, and I'm just going to buff it out really, really like lightly. Then for the halo topper kind of effect, I'm going to grab that shade right there and just apply it to the center of my lid and then drag it a little bit outwards. As you can see, I'm just dragging it a little bit so it gives kind of like a light effect. It's not really halo because it's still going all over the lid, but I'm just dragging it outwards. So that's what I did there, and then with a clean brush I just buffed the edges out, and then this is the same old Magnified Cosmetics brush that I used to deepen the inner and outer corner. Now I'm just using that brown to deepen the outer corner. Now that I did that kind of like halo effect with the depth on the inner corner, I'm going to elongate the outer part so it makes it look more almond shaped, more cat-like. And I'm just going to go in with this black from the Copper Spice palette, apply a little bit and kind of do a smoky line. It's not kind of like a liner, I just did a smoky line in a liner wing shape just on the outer corner, and then just started buffing it out with the same Magnified Cosmetics brush and no product on the brush whatsoever. Then I cleaned everything up with the makeup remover wipe, and I just wanted the line to be crisp. So when I went in with my lash line again, like when I finished the look, I could just buff it out slightly. Now for my inner corner highlight, I'm going to match it to the highlight that's going to be on my face, which is the MAC Lightscapade. And I find this like really complimentary because the Lightscapade is actually kind of like a wide gold shade. So I think it matches perfectly and it brightens my inner corner really nicely. Next, as per usual, I'm curling my eyelashes just a tiny bit, and then I'm moving on to mascara. And I just apply a little bit and let it dry because I don't really like applying lashes with wet mascara, so I do let it dry. And then I'm going to revive my Maybelline Blackest Black Gel Liner with the Inglot Duraline. It's been a long time I didn't use it, so I did dry out a little bit, so I just put one drop there, and then with this tiny, tiny, tiny angled brush, I tight lined my top lash line. Yeah, tight lined. So yeah, I let that dry for a little bit, and then I went onto the face and I primed my skin with the Nivea Post Shave Balm, and as you see right here, I'm actually applying the Makeup Forever Step 1 Smoothing Primer in the areas you have large pores. And then for foundation, I'm using my Holy Grails, like my favorite foundations ever. They're the Makeup Forever foundation stick that I'm using right now, and as you can see, I'm applying quite a bit, but this really blends out beautifully. It's my favorite foundation ever. I do think it has a dewy finish that you do need to set it because otherwise it will transfer a little tiny bit, but I find this beautiful finish amazing and I really like it, especially in the summer when it goes a little bit dewy. So yeah, I just did that, and then I applied the Armani foundation just a tiny bit in the center of my face, and then moved on to concealer. Now, as per usual, as you saw, I used my Tarte Maracuja Creaseless Concealer, and then this time for highlighting, right there, right next to it, I applied the NYX Gotcha Covered Concealer in the shade Alabaster, the same one I used to prime my eyelids, and then I just blended everything out with my ring finger. I like blending it out with my ring finger because I find that I get the most out of the product that way. My finger warms up the product and it blends really nicely, and if I do have some excess, I just tap it away with my Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge. I almost forgot the name there. Next, for spot concealing, I was going to say correcting, concealing, I just grabbed the Anastasia concealer and just did like a spot correcting, spot concealing, whatever you want to call it, spot concealing. And I just did that, and I find the best way to blend that out is with your actual foundation brush. Just tap it away, stipple it away, and then I set everything like immediately. The concealer under my eyes, I set immediately afterwards. So I go in with a little bit of powder and just start like highlighting on the outer part so it doesn't look kind of funky and weird. So I go from the outer part to the inner part, as you can see right there. And oh, I forgot to mention, I'm using the NYX Highlight and Contour Palette, and that was, oh, I don't remember the shade name. I list it down below as well. Anyways, now to set the rest of the face, I'm going to use the Maybelline Fit Me Dewy Powder. It's a dewy powder, and I do really like this powder. It's not like completely matte, because you know that finish you get when you put powder on your face and it's like completely matte? Not this one. So I really, really, really like this powder. Next, for contour, I'm using the shade Sculpt from the Highlight and Contour Palette from NYX, and I'm just sculpting my face. It's just my cheekbones, so I'm just making them pop out a little bit more, and then I move on to my nose contour. And for that, as you've seen before,
I actually use an angled eye brush. It's an angled shader brush from Royal and Nicolle, and I just mark like at the beginning of my nose, like the tip, I just mark that like nicely, and then I just drag the tiniest bit of product upwards and then just close it off. Next for blush, I'm using the Urban Decay Gwen Stefani palette, and I'm mixing these two shades you see right here, the OC and Hush. Hush has to be like one of my favorite blushes ever, and I really like the glowiness of it, and I wanted the warmth of OC, so that's why I mixed those two together and just went in on my cheeks, and I really buff it out with that brush, which is the Artiste highlighter brush. Next for highlighting, I'm using the Lightscapade by MAC and Becca Shimmery Skin Perfector in Champagne Pop. This is Champagne Pop right here. As you can see, it's blinding. Thank you so much, Jaclyn Hill, for coming up with this, because I just genuinely love it. I didn't used to love it as much as I do now. I use it every single time I highlight now for the past month, I think, or month and a half, I don't know. But anyway, that's like my base highlight, and then I use the Lightscapade to top it off for it to look a little bit more white gold. So as you can see, I'm just applying a little bit on my brow bone. I haven't done my brows yet because I get them full of highlighter, so I like to do those last. That's a tip for you, because sometimes I set my brows and then I get highlighter all over the place, or even a little bit of foundation or something, so yeah. So yeah, you see me there applying a little bit of highlight, and then when I move on to this one, this is MAC Lightscapade, and this is just like the topper. It makes it look more white gold rather than too champagne poppy. Like, I just love this combination of both of them. Anyways, for the powders to set down on the face and for it to look absolutely stunning and non-powdery, I go in with the NYX Dewy Finishing Spray, and then I move on to brows. Now for brows today, I'm using the NYX Eyebrow Gel and an angled brush. I think this is by Gala, the brush. I have no clue of the number, but yeah. Everything is listed down below as per usual, so if you want to find anything, it's down below. Now, for the eyebrow look, since I'm going for like a sultry smoky eye, I haven't done bold brows in a minute, so I wanted to go in with the brows today. Like, I wanted them to be like popping, if you know what I mean. Like, I have quite bushy brows, so with the slightest fill of them, it looks like really big and bushy and fluffy, but with the eyebrow gel, I don't know, I find them like much more clean and crisp. I know that's not a natural look, but I just felt like using it today, you know? You could do whatever you want, but this is what I wanted to do today. I tend to like switch around what I do with my brows depending on the makeup look. Anyways, to set that, I'm just going to apply the L'Oreal Brow Artist Plumper, and this is in the shade Medium Dark, and this has brow fibers in it, so even though I just did like a clean crisp line, it has fibers, so it still looks like I have eyebrows. Eyebrow hairs at least. Then as you saw right there, I just applied the liner that I used on my top lash line. I also applied it on my bottom waterline, and then I started smoking out the bottom part. So I grabbed the same dark colors I used like on the outer edge of my eye, and then I'm just buffing everything out under. So as you see, the terracotta brown from the Copper Spice palette. I used a bit of both palettes to have it kind of like equally in the video, but if you want to have a tutorial with both, with one specific palette, then please tell me and I'll do one. But yeah, as you can see, I'm just smoking it out with brown shades. Now I do apply the black at the very end, I believe, just to try to smoke it out a tiny bit, but I don't like to go in like with exaggeration. So I smoke out a lot with browns and then just apply the black to the lash line, like closest to my lash line. As you see there, I'm just smoking it out, making it look not too dark at the very bottom of the smokiness of the lash line. I don't know how to explain that, but yeah. So as you saw, I applied mascara to my bottom lashes, and then I went in with these lashes, and curious fact, I actually wore them for the very last time. They completely broke off when I took them off, so sad. They were my favorite Dramatic lashes, so yeah. Anyways, for the lip product, I used the Buxom Lip Foundation in the shade Buff. I don't know, something like that. I'll link it down below. And for the lip gloss, I went for the LA Colors Pout lip gloss in the shade Pouty. I thought this would really top off the look, making it like a glossy lip, because I do go for a lot of matte lipstick, so I wanted to go for gloss, and I really like how this turned out actually. But yeah, I really like how this turned out anyways. I love you guys so much. Please give me suggestions down below if you like this tutorial, or give it a thumbs up. And yeah, I love you guys so much.
So you have reached the end of the video. I really liked how this look came out, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. I really think it will suit a lot of like eye colors and eye shapes and everything, so it's kind of like a universally smoky and like boldish kind of eye look, and I really think everyone could do this on themselves, and I really like the eyeshadows. So if you like this tutorial, please give a thumbs up, and also if you want me to do a tutorial on one of these specific palettes, just like one whole tutorial using this palette or the other palette, which is this one's the Copper Spice and this one's the Bronzed Mochas. If you want me to do a tutorial with either or of them or both, then please let me know down below and I'll definitely do that. I love these eyeshadows. They're my favorite eyeshadows yet. It's just amazing. But yeah, I really like them. I hope you guys like this tutorial, like the eyeshadows, and like any of the products I used. So yeah, if you do, please give a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Please subscribe. I would love to hit 200 subscribers by the end of next month, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I'm really excited and I'm so thankful for all of you guys that have subscribed to my channel. And yeah, leave some suggestions down below if you want to see a tutorial with this or anything. I don't know. I want to know what you guys want to see and I'll obviously listen to you. So yeah, I love you guys so much and I'll see you in my next tutorial. Bye!
Oh, this you crazy mother!